Balancing Compassion and Security, the Dignity Act of 2025's 7-year work permit program. In the first 5 months of Trump's second term, ICE made over 109,000 arrests, most of them concentrated in border and southern states, highlighting the administration's intensified enforcement focus in immigrant-heavy regions. If you're interested in this topic, please pay attention and watch the video through to the end to get all the information. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. So, without any further delay, let's jump into the video. The Dignity Act of 2025 represents a rare bipartisan attempt to overhaul the United States' deeply fragmented immigration system. At its heart lies a bold proposal: a 7-year legal work permit program for undocumented immigrants, offering a structured path to lawful status without providing amnesty or citizenship. Introduced as H.R. 4393 on July 15, 2025, by Representatives Maria Elvira Salazar and Veronica Escobar, the bill is co-sponsored by 20 lawmakers from both parties, a remarkable show of cross-party collaboration in today's politically divided Congress. Its purpose is to modernize immigration while ensuring border security, protect U.S. workers, and provide long-term undocumented immigrants a chance to work and live legally in the country. Understanding the Dignity Act of 2025, formally titled Dignity for Immigrants, while guarding our nation to ignite and deliver the American dream, the bill takes a comprehensive approach to immigration reform. This legislation is a successor to the 2023 version of the Dignity Act, revised to reflect current political and social conditions. It outlines 5 key goals: securing the southern border, reforming the asylum process, offering legal status, not citizenship, to long-term undocumented immigrants, protecting American labor, modernizing legal immigration processes. Supporters argue that this dual approach, merging compassion for immigrants with tougher enforcement mechanisms, could finally move immigration reform forward in a meaningful way. The Dignity Program, a 7-year work and legal status plan. The core feature of the legislation is the Dignity Program, which will provide a 7-year legal status, including work and travel authorization, to undocumented immigrants who meet several strict eligibility requirements. To qualify, applicants must have lived in the U.S. since before December 31st, 2020, pass a criminal background check, pay a $7,000 fine over 7 years, $1,000 upfront, then $1,000 every 2 years at check-ins with DHS, be employed or enrolled in school for at least 4 of the 7 years, enroll in health coverage and pay all applicable taxes, waive access to federal benefits like welfare or Medicaid. Importantly, this is not a pathway to citizenship. It's a mechanism to allow people who are already deeply embedded in U.S. communities and economies to continue living and working legally, but without eventual naturalization. The money collected from fines will fund an American Worker Fund, aimed at training U.S. citizens for in-demand jobs, one of several provisions designed to align the program with domestic labor interests. Critics, especially from immigrant advocacy groups, argue that the $7,000 penalty could be prohibitive for low-income families, and that the lack of a pathway to citizenship leaves millions in limbo. Special provisions for Dreamers. The Dignity Act includes key protection for Dreamers, undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. Under the bill, they may apply for conditional permanent residency for up to 10 years. After this period, they can transition to full legal permanent residency, a green card, if they meet one of the following: earn a college or technical degree, serve in the military for at least 3 years, work legally for at least 4 years, spending 75% of their time in employment. Most current DACA recipients could bypass conditional residency altogether and proceed directly to permanent status, echoing elements of the long-proposed but never-passed DREAM Act. Key immigration reforms beyond work permits. The Dignity Act goes far beyond just work permits. It emphasizes robust immigration enforcement and modernization. Border security, additional funding for infrastructure, technology, and Border Patrol agents. Asylum process reform. Creation of humanitarian campuses to process claims within 45 to 60 days. Mandatory E-Verify, nationwide requirement for employers to verify the legal status of all workers. Visa modernization, eliminating family and employment-based visa backlogs, and increasing the per-country visa cap from 7% to 15%. American Worker Fund. Revenues from Dignity Program fines will support job training and placement programs for U.S. citizens in high-demand sectors. While some view these enforcement and verification mechanisms as necessary for public trust, immigrant rights advocates warn that they could further endanger vulnerable communities, particularly by expanding detention centers and deportation systems. Why the Dignity Act of 2025 matters. There are an estimated 10.5 million undocumented immigrants living in the U.S., with approximately 84% residing here for over a decade. Many contribute significantly to sectors like agriculture, construction, hospitality, and healthcare. The Dignity Act could provide millions with long overdue legal protection, reduce labor shortages, and improve community integration. According to recent Gallup polling, 79% of Americans believe immigration is beneficial to the country. 78% support some form of legal status for undocumented immigrants. Despite widespread public support, the Dignity Act faces an uphill battle in a GOP-controlled Congress and under a Trump-aligned executive branch focused on strict immigration enforcement. Its success hinges on bipartisan cooperation and sustained public advocacy. A majority of ICE arrests in Trump's first 5 months took place in border and southern states. Figures show between January 20th and June 27th, 2025, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement arrested over 109,000 individuals, marking a 120% increase from the same period in 2024 under the Biden administration. This dramatic surge reflects President Donald Trump's aggressive immigration enforcement agenda during his second term. The video aligns with his campaign promise to carry out the largest deportation operation in U.S. history. The majority of these arrests took place in southern and border states, with Texas accounting for nearly 25% of all apprehensions. Florida followed with 11% and California with 7%. Georgia and Arizona also saw high arrest rates at 4% and 3%, respectively. In contrast, states such as Vermont, Alaska, and Montana had the fewest arrests, about 100 combined, highlighting sharp regional disparities in enforcement. The regional concentration of arrests is influenced by geography and local cooperation with ICE. States like Texas and Florida actively support coordination between local law enforcement and federal immigration agents, making it easier for ICE to detain individuals directly from jails. Conversely, in states with sanctuary policies such as California, ICE faces more challenges and must rely on resource-intensive at-large arrests carried out in communities. The data, obtained by the Deportation Data Project through litigation, also reveals that the individuals arrested came from nearly 180 countries. However, the vast majority were Latin American or Caribbean nationals. Mexican citizens made up the largest group, with nearly 40,000 arrests. Guatemalan and Honduran nationals followed with about 15,000 and 12,000, respectively. Venezuelans account for nearly 8,000 arrests, and Salvadorans more than 5,000. According to Kathleen Bush-Joseph of the Migration Policy Institute, these figures mirror broader immigration patterns. In 2023, immigrants from Latin America and the Caribbean represented 84% of the unauthorized immigrant population in the U.S., which explains their prominence in recent ICE operations. Under the Trump administration, ICE has rolled back limitations imposed during the Biden era, expanding the criteria for arrests. While ICE says it prioritizes violent offenders, it is now authorized to arrest any undocumented individual violating federal immigration law, even if they have no criminal record. This broad discretion significantly increases the number of individuals subject to detention. ICE's mandate also includes detaining non-citizens who have lost their legal status for various reasons, including criminal convictions. The current administration's enforcement policies have greatly increased ICE's operational scope and have led to a major rise in both arrests and deportations. As of mid-2025, ICE reported carrying out 150,000 deportations. Although this figure is below the Trump administration's stated goal of 1 million annual removals, it marks the highest pace of deportations in over a decade since the Obama administration. The administration's aim is to further escalate deportation efforts in the coming months. ICE's sharp rise in arrests and deportations during the first half of Trump's second term underscores a return to hardline immigration enforcement. The agency's broad powers, the high concentration of arrests in southern states, and the focus on Latin American immigrants all point to a deeply intensified federal crackdown, potentially reshaping the lives of hundreds of thousands of immigrants across the United States. As policy debates continue, the Dignity Act of 2025 offers a contrasting vision, pairing tough border control with humane, structured path to legal work status through its proposed 7-year permit for undocumented immigrants. That is all for today in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care.